This video shows adding a new instance alongside an already existing DHIS2 instance. So going to the documentation, you'll see that if you head to the manage section, getting started, automated install, it has, a subsection adding an instance using, the same deployment tools. And essentially what you need to do is go to the inventory hosts file, instances section, add a line after, an instance that is already present, like DHIS instance. If you go to the GitHub repository as well, you'll see that there's also documentation on the same, adding new instances. Yeah, just need to edit the inventory hosts file, go to the instances section, and add a new line. It even has a screenshot that tries to explain that. Okay, let's go to the server that we had an installation before. It was a server that was running that IP address. And as you can see, this server already has an install, and DHIS that has an IP address .11 is already running. Um, so we're going to head into the DHIS2 server tools deploy directory, edit an inventory host file, just the same way, it is described here in adding new instance, vim inventory hosts file. And let's see, there's a section indeed called, there's a group called instances. You just need to add a new line after that. I'm just gonna copy and paste, and then because as we all know, uh, a new container is going to be created. Right now we have DHIS container, because we all know that a new container is going to be added. Then that means uh, that means sorry that means that you need to just your second instance should have a unique name. So this, let's call it let's call this def. Okay. And because also the IP address .11 is already used by our first container, this needs to be unique. So just give the 12. And for demo purposes, this instance should be running 241. Okay, for demo purposes. Proxy rewrite is a parameter that we're going to discuss about maybe in one of the videos. So right now we're going to just leave everything else untouched. And there are two ways of running the deploy. One of the ways uh, is even explained in the documentation as it is today, uh, which is going to step 5 and running deploy.sh. Another method is running the DHIS2.yaml file, which is our main deployment uh, playbook, and uh, targeting tasks that are only going to create new instance. I'm going to demonstrate that, but let's start with the with the with the easiest, which is just rerunning the whole deployment script. Enter. So what is in our deployment script? Let's just check that in this other window. Vim deploy.sh. See that this deploy.sh, essentially what it does is that it tries to install Ansible. And for our case, Ansible was installed during the initial install when we created the very first instance. And then after that, it runs a playbook, our main and only playbook. yeah, which is DHIS.YAML using this line. This line essentially is running DHIS.YAML playbook, but it's not really targeting anything. It's just like running everything. Yeah, and um, this is a bit slow because as you see on my on the left side, um, it's looping through Postgres. It's looping through the host where you have uh, containers hosted, which is our server. It's looping through monitor and repeating the same things, yeah, that needs not to be repeated, right? Like creating, creating, trying to install Nginx, trying to install PostgreSQL, trying to configure PostgreSQL, and so those things are done already, and it needs not to be like if you do run the playbook that way, you're gonna be just spending lots of time. You're gonna be spending lots of time rerunning the script against hosts that nothing is really changing. Okay, but right now, as you see, there's some changes in our def because now essentially what has happened is that new container has been created, and the container is indeed def, and it has the IP address that we had configured in our inventory host, and it's now doing stuff like adding database, adding uh, um, database user, installing stuff within the dev container. What are these things that are being installed right now? There's Tomcat. There is there is Java, and it's gonna download uh, uh, DHIS2 binary, and that it's going to configure and harden um, DHIS2 and configure DHIS.conf from template, configure Tomcat server.xml from template, all that kind of stuff just happening right now in the background. And within a few minutes, we're going to have this instance up and running, and and it's going to be exposed as well on the Nginx proxy, and it's going to be accessible with //def. One thing that I want to mention when the playbook is still running also is that by default, we are using /dhis to access, /def to access, and the instance name or path that is going to be used to access the instance corresponds to the name of the host, right? Inventory host here, you see, sorry, that typo there. You see that indeed our instance name is DHIS and another is dev. So to access either of these instances, you need to append /dhis or /dev. But sometimes you access root without anything. So that is what proxy rewrite is doing. It's like rewriting any root access, right? And appending whatever that it appends. It could be DHIS or def. But if you have DHIS and def like this, the first one, the first one in this list is going to be rewritten, right? Let me demonstrate that while this is on the run is ongoing. Is that if I access my server's IP address 172.104 without really appending anything, just like that, okay? Enter. You see, it's gonna basically load this not private window because our certificate is not trusted. It's a self-signed certificate, and it's going to append the HIS. Let me select that. You see that automatically, right? It didn't append def because def is, is the second on our list. And the way I have configured the tools is that you cannot like you can only rewrite to one instance, and it has to be the first instance, right? Yeah. But if you had, for example, this commented out like that, then it means proxy rewrite is only enabled on the second instance, and this is gonna like rewritten anytime. Okay, our install has been completed, and you can see right now that we have most changes on the dev instance, few changes on the monitor, few changes on the Postgres, few changes on the proxy. Okay, going back and verifying my access is that, I mean, for, at least for this new instance, you just need to append now. It's not gonna be that, you need to append dev here. Appending dev is gonna give you access to this newly deployed instance, dev instance. Okay, and as you can see, it's bringing us this window, admin district. It's logging in. Da, 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 da. And this other one, okay, let's just again access 172.104 the 104.232.21 slash. I mean, it's gonna write that to our DHIS instance. This should be running 242, I think. Admin district. Let's verify that. Sorry for the wrong password. Okay, it's gonna log in a few seconds, and indeed we can verify that the version that we are running here is 242. You've seen there, and the version that we are running on this other side, let's check, it's 241, corresponding to the version that was, that we had configured, at least in our inventory hosts for the dev instance. Okay, now let's demonstrate the second install method by adding the third instance. Let's just copy this and paste. Maybe we call this test. Okay, and of course it needs to be configured with unique IP address. Let's just set .13 there. Version for DHIS2 here for demo purposes, and yeah, we're gonna set this to 240. Okay, and then right quit. We've just changed the parameters that needs to be changed, that needs to be unique. Okay, now instead of me running deploy.sh, which essentially, as I showed you, vim deploy.sh, essentially it's going to run sudo ansible playbook DHIS2.yaml. I'm going to target these, paste that. Sorry, okay, just copy that. Um, go to this other window, paste. But I'm going to target, right? I'm going to target create instance. These are going to just like get all the tasks that are specific to creating new instance. Don't just go through the entire playbook. Don't loop through PostgreSQL. Don't loop through proxy. Don't loop through things that you don't need to. Just go directly to the task relating to create instance. Of course, those tasks relating to create instance are going to just log into, get again to the proxy to add proxy upstream configuration and proxy, um, you know, main configuration file to edit and add, load new upstream configuration for the test instance. But there are so many tasks here that are already skipped. So this is going to take less time. Okay, it's going to spend less time as compared to the other method of running the entire playbook. Okay, so going to this other window and let's see list, you see immediately we have test created. It's having the exact IP address that we wanted it to have, and yeah, and in a few minutes it's going to now expose it on the proxy. Yeah, because right now if you go to the IP and put test, is it test? Yeah, I think nothing. It's empty response. That is how Nginx is configured. LXC exec proxy, and then let's say vim etc Nginx confd, and then default.com. You'll see that this file at the very somewhere here at the very end is that anything that is not matched, anything that is not matched, it's not like matching include, dev, it's not matching DHIS, it's not matching unit. Even, yeah, it's gonna just return a 404. Yeah, it's going to return a 404. And right now, test is not matched because we've not had it deployed completely. So that's why you saw it's returning empty response. Empty response is basically 444. Yeah. So, but until this instance is deployed, we just gonna be getting this 444. But just we'll verify that after the install is completed. Okay. Again, same thing that I talked about. The instance is gonna be accessible under the path/test. Its glow root is test-glow root. Moonin is the same. I mean, it's monitoring the same server. We're not monitoring new servers here. Okay, it's still the same server, but it's just adding a new instance um, for the test purposes. Okay, I don't know if it's not completed. So if you check, we had initially we had DHIS and we have def just deployed a few minutes ago. I just wanted to mention that it comes with its own separate glow root. Okay, same admin district username and password, but essentially this username and password you can change anytime. District and, and maybe you put new password. Okay, so yeah, so the password has been changed essentially. So that's what we want to do. Same with DHIS2. After installing, you need to set you set secure password for your admin user, or have it even create a new user, new username and disable admin user completely. Yeah. So so that's it. Um, Moonin is still gonna be the same for these new instances. And right now, accessing dev, I 172 dot uh, slash Moonin, you'll see that it has, it's protected with basic authentication. We'll talk about basic authentication and configuration with Moonin in one of the videos um, in this series. Okay, password is district. Okay, and you see right now that we have dev monitored, we have DHIS monitored, and sooner or later we'll have also the test instance after the install is completed, and Moonin is able to synchronize and monitor all the hosts. Okay, right now it's on final config. uh, it's like going through the proxy and adding configurations required for the test instance to be accessible from the internet or from the web. So right now test, I don't know if it's now exposed. Test going back, yeah, it's complete. It should be accessible. Test, yeah, indeed. Admin district. Okay, admin district. Okay, and indeed we are able to access this, and it should be which version? Let's check. Vim inventory hosts. It should be version 40. Let's verify that. Don't must do this again. It should be, yeah, indeed it's 40, and it's the latest available version of 240. Okay, because just we specified here that we wanted 240. We didn't specify exact version of DHIS that we wanted, but you could, and the tools is going to give you that exact version that you want. We'll demonstrate that in one of the videos that we're going to release in the future. Okay, now everything is being uh, tested. We've completed our deployment. We have 3 instances. We have glow root for each and every instance. We have Moonin for the uh, overall server monitoring. And I think let's stop there for this video.